Let's take a refresher course on the musical alphabet and staff. The objectives of today's lesson are to introduce the musical alphabet, to introduce the musical staff, to observe the difference between notes that are said to be on the line and notes that are said to be on the space, to introduce the formula in music, and to apply the musical alphabet to the music staff. So, what's the musical alphabet? Well, many of you already know that it's just like the regular alphabet. It starts with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but it stops at G. There is no H, I, J, or anything after that. But the question is, what happens after G? Because we know there are a lot more notes than 7 notes in music. Well, it simply starts over again and continues over and over and over again until the ear can no longer hear the pitches. Also, know that as the alphabet goes higher from A to B to C, or goes up in letters, the pitch goes higher. If you go backwards in the alphabet from like F to E to D to C, the pitch goes lower. So now, what's the musical staff? Well, that's this thing right here where you see lines and spaces. And if you look, you see 5 lines, and in between them you see 4 spaces. And we count them like this, from the bottom up. So this is the first line, this is the second line, the third line, the fourth line, and the fifth line. And then the spaces, which are in between, this would be the first space, this is the second space, the third space, and the fourth space. And that's how we number our lines and spaces. So the question is, how do we know if a note's in a line or on a line, in a line, on a space, or in a space? Well, the key is, does a line go through the middle of the note? What does that mean? Let's look at it. I just put a note on the staff here. If you look, is there a line going through the middle of it? And the answer is yes, there is. Therefore, that note is on a line. How about this example right here? Is there a line going through the middle of the circle, the middle of the note? No, there isn't. Therefore, it's on a space. Let's do another one. How about this one? Line through the middle or not? If you said yes, you're correct. And that would make it on a line. And this one, is there a line through the middle? No, there is not. Therefore, it's a space. What about when we have notes that are below the line, the staff? We add this line here. That's called the ledger line. So now, when we're using the ledger line, let's look at a note that has to do with a ledger line. Is there a line going through the middle of that? No, there isn't. Therefore, it's on a space. How about this one? Is there a line going through the middle of it? Yes, there is. Therefore, it's on a line. Let's look above the staff using ledger lines. Is there a line going through the middle of this note? Yes, there is. Therefore, it's a line. That note is on a line. Is there a line going through the middle of this note? No, there isn't. Therefore, it's on a space. So now, how do we apply the musical letters? We've learned our alphabet. How do we apply the alphabet on the staff? Well, there is a formula in music, and that formula is line, space, line, space, line, space, line, space, etc. What does that mean? That means if the letter A was on a line, the next space would be B, and then the next line would be the letter C, and the next space would be the letter D, and etc. and so forth. So let's do an example. Right here, if I said that this note on this line down here at the bottom of the staff was an A, what would the next space be? It would be a B. Then we would go C, D, E. See how I'm alternating with lines and spaces. This line is E, so the next space is F. And the next line is G. Next space is A, and keep going. And that's B. And then if we go back to the beginning where the A was, I want you to see I just put a note below before it. So if that line, the first line that we saw over here is an A, then what's this note right here? Well, we go backwards in the alphabet, so that's a G. How about if we add the next ledger line down, and we take this note, the line before the G space? What would it be? Well, that would be an F in the musical alphabet. And looking above the staff, after that B, which is the top B, which is on the top line, the 5th line, we have a note on a space. What would that be? That would be a C. And then what would the next line be? We add the ledger line, and this note would be a D. And that's how the musical formula works, and that's how we put notes on the staff. Let's do another example. What if I were to put an E on this line? Well, let's go. The next space would be F, line G, next space A, next line B, next space C, next line D, then E, then F. And going back to the E again, what happens next? That note, well, it's the space before the line E, so therefore we go backwards one in the alphabet, and that's a D. How about this next one here? That would be a C. And going back to the top again after the F, this note, it's on a space. Well, the line before it's F, therefore this space is G. And then if we added a ledger line and kept going, what would this line be? Well, it would be A. As you can see, they go in order, either forwards or backwards of the musical alphabet. One more example here. What if the bottom line was G? Can you go fast with me? Next space A, line B, space C, line D, space E, line F, space G, line A. Excuse me. And then back to the G in the beginning, let's go before it. If G is that line, the space before it is F. The line before it is E. And then back at the top after that A, we have that space after the line A would be B, and then this line here would be C. And that's how the letters apply. Thanks for watching.